Welcome to another inspiring episode of the Elite Expert Insider Podcast. Hosts Melanie Johnson and Jenn Foster are the owners of Elite Online Publishing. They're both Wall Street Journal, USA Today best-selling authors. We're really glad you're here because this podcast was designed for you. Meet industry experts that share their secrets and strategies. Get successful results for your business in money, relationships, health, and your life. Each episode is going to inspire you to take action towards reaching your greatness.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. We're so happy to have you here today, as always. And I'm with my co-founder of Elite Online Publishing, Jenn Foster. Hey, Jenn.
Hey, everyone. How are you doing today?
Well, we have a great show today. I'm just so impressed with someone who achieves greatness in sports. We have James Cluskey. He's a former professional tennis player, and he was in the Guinness World Book of Records for the longest doubles tennis match, playing over 60 hours straight. I can't even imagine. And then he's taken all of that. Oh, and he also gives private lessons to Sir Richard Branson, by the way. But then he's taken all of that dedication and focus, and he's turned it into a company called eLearn. And e-learning is so big these days, and I love what he's done. He's turned it into teaching companies and their employees to have continuous personal growth. So we're going to learn about that today and all the different ways to have personal growth. Thanks, James, for joining us.
No problem. Great to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the learning space and coming up with the idea for Give Learn.
Yeah, really interesting question. So my background is professional sport. I went to college in the US. I'm from Ireland, went on a sports scholarship to LSU, and then played professionally after that for a number of years. Got to 145 in the world in tennis. Then when I retired from my sport, I was, a little bit in the space of, I don't really know what I'm going to do next. I actually worked with an executive coach. And the executive coach is really a successful business person, really helped me a lot. And I kept, whatever I was doing, I kept coming back to people and performance and being at your best and helping people be at their best. And not necessarily on a tennis court, right? So yeah, I coach Richard Branson, have helped him on the tennis court. But also I like learning from people, listening to people. And I went to an event, I was at an event on Necker, where he brings some interesting business people together. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. Went back to Ireland, kind of started something on a very small scale in terms of little events with business leaders. I'd bring 12 business people together. And then, as I'm sure the entrepreneurs listen to, ideas evolve and change. COVID happened. And then the idea for Give Learn was born in terms of we run online learning classes, but specifically around soft skill development. And secondly to that, the vision with Give Learn has always been to link learning to doing good in the world. So my vision was that a user will come to a class, they invest in their personal and professional development, they're doing good for themselves, but then they're doing good for someone else somewhere else. And really that's what we're building out. So this community around performance, around the soft skill development.
So why do you feel like it's important for a company to help their employees continue to have personal growth? So it's not just learning skills at the office, but you're teaching, wellness and mindset and a variety of different things. It's really, like you say, for personal growth. How does that help a company, and why would they want to incorporate that into part of their benefits for their employees?
Yeah, it's not just me thinking it. The data and the research, backs that up. So recent research from Harvard that 85% of job success comes from having well-developed soft and people skills, 15% from technical hard skills. Yet I think a lot of companies focus very heavily on the technical hard skills side of things. Whereas for me, I think in terms of people and performance and getting the best out of yourself, I think the people that are that do well in their careers are the people that can lead, can communicate, can present, can work with others, can create, all those types of things. So we had a networking program on our platform last year, and our lecturer talked about a book by a guy called Harvey Coleman. Can't think of the name of the book off the top of my head, but basically it was the pie theory. And it was that 10% of your career success comes from your performance, so from on the job. And he said, look, that sounds absolutely crazy, but the I and the E in the pie theory are image and exposure. So image, what do people say about you when you're not in the room? And then E in terms of exposure, who's seen you in action with clients and so on. So I think those kind of softer side of things are the things that will differentiate yourself in your career and help you obviously get ahead and win and be successful and all those types of things.
Yeah, I like that you focus on that personal development over the tech, because I do feel like a lot of times people will just, like, even especially for universities and college, but even just entrepreneurs, that they're just like, I need to learn how to do this specific tech skill or this specific thing. And once I'm good at that, I'll be successful. But they forget the self-help part of it, the professional development and people skills, and they forget that part of it. So I love that you focus on that leadership.
Yeah, and I think on that, I mean, what's really interesting is like learning never stops, right? I mean, it's constant, right? So even, when I would go to Necker and coach Richard for a month, I remember one of the times he said, hey, come up to the house where there's this event going on. And he had the head of Google Innovation who was giving a talk. And, Richard's there front row with his notepad and his pen, he's taking notes, right? So, and my biggest learning from him was that he's always asking questions. He's always wondering what's going on. He's always curious. And I don't think he'd be annoyed me saying he's not academically, he's not he's not the most intelligent person in the world by any stretch of imagination. But I think that EQ is just really important. And I think companies need to tap into that. And then I also think, people, if there was a Gartner report which talked about how people's biggest thing was feeling valued by the company. So they want to feel valued by their company. They want to be invested in. They want to make a difference. They want to have a positive impact in the world. So I really believe people, want to learn and crave to be better.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think? I mean, sometimes it's hard to get people to motivated to want to be better, right? They're like, oh, that stuff's not for me, or I don't need that. And you had a way of gamifying this, which I really like. So I wanted you to talk about that whole process that motivates people to do it, but then also maybe give some advice for someone who's not a member of a company, like Jenn and I we own our own companies, but we're picking out videos and doing things to keep ourselves motivated. How does just the regular bloke who's, an entrepreneur, how do they keep themselves motivated without the gamification that you have?
Yeah, so really interesting question. So I think if you look at the data around younger generations specifically, they want to work for companies that are having positive impact in the world, and business as a force for good, right? So what we've done with Give Learn is actually to connect learning and doing good. And again, that vision around someone who's actually coming to a class, investing in their personal and professional development, doing good for themselves, but then actually, doing something for someone else. So when you attend live classes, so specifically for attending our live classes, you earn points or dollars, and then you can use those points to donate to different social causes. In terms of the individual piece, in terms of entrepreneurs and staying motivated, we do have an individual offering in terms of an individual can sign up for Give Learn. I personally think, I obviously have my own business. It's a small business, it's a growing business. However, I think it's really important the communities that you associate with and the people that you're involved with and so on. So, to any entrepreneur out there who's maybe they're a solopreneur on their own and they have this dream of building something, I think it's really important to get into a community, whether that's a local community or, a thing like Give Learn, where you're actually being inspired, you actually have people that encourage you and so on. So it's very difficult to do things alone. And I think I know that better than anyone in terms of, if you take tennis as an example, and me being a professional tennis player, it's an individual sport, but you have a team behind you of people that are in your corner. So I'd really encourage people to do that.
I think that's great. And what kind of people do you have on the videos or the training? Like you say, you have them live, or are some of them pre-recorded, and who do you have that comes on and speaks?
Yeah, so our little differentiator between other companies, our classes are live. So I really believe in I don't mind someone going back and listening to something or watching a recording of something, but I like the idea of live and that interactivity. And look, we've been very lucky to have people from all over the world deliver our classes and courses. So my mentor, a guy called Kurt Long, who's a rocket scientist and entrepreneur who's scaled a number of businesses. He's given several sessions on Give Learn. He gave us a couple of sessions on the topic of listening. He called it Listening, the Greatest Business Asset You Need to Develop. He's done sessions on creating trust in business, which is obviously great for, an entrepreneur or small business to understand that. We've had Lisa Bandla, who's the third Indian woman to go to space. She went up on the first Virgin Galactic flight. We've had, presentation skills coach, Caroline, can't think of Caroline's last name, the presentation skills coach, award-winning presentation skills coach in the UK. Kingsley Aikens ran our networking program, which I kind of referenced earlier. Kingsley raised $250 million in his previous role for the Ireland funds. Incredible networker. He's developed this system for networking. So we only have the best in terms of presenters who are delivering classes and courses. Our classes, it's 45 minutes a week. So our live class is 45 minutes a week. We have 4 a month. We also have 2 wellness classes a month. And in terms of wellness, I believe in in terms of soft skill development, I believe in high performance and what are the things that are going to help you perform at your best. And obviously wellness and looking after yourself is that as well. So we have a 15-minute meditation class or a breathwork class or a 15-minute, we had a session with the nutritionist around how to read food labels. So there are 15-minute wellness classes, 2 a month. Everything goes in the back catalog in terms of all the classes and courses and that you can access.
Awesome. Well, tell us, James, where can people reach out and find you?
Yeah, so the website is givelearn.net. So that's GIVELEARN.net. My email is j.cluskey, CLUSKEY @givelearn.net. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, James Cluskey, very active on there, or you can follow the Give Learn page on LinkedIn. And I'd love to hear from you guys and your listeners.
Great. We'll put that up in the show notes so people can click on those links.
Thank you very much.
So keep up your personal growth, everyone. Make sure you continue to grow and learn no matter how you do it. And Give Learn is a great way to do that. And remember, if you're looking to become an author or thinking about writing a book, reach out to us at eliteonlinepublishing.com. We work with people to make them Wall Street Journal or Amazon bestsellers, and we guarantee our performance. So hit that author submission button and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.